Well, hello there. It's been a while. For those of you who don't know me, this might come as a shock to you, but I am Atoy, also better known as Anthony, and I was an inspiring content creator. I still inspire to be a content creator. Um, just the last couple years have been life. I have grown up a lot within the last year alone, I'd say, but the last few years of my life have been one hell of a thing. And for those of you who don't believe in manifestation or karma or like energy in the world, it's out there. And I try to be the best version of me that I can be, but sometimes I can't see where I'm making mistakes and I can't see where I'm going wrong, and sometimes it's just really, really hard to break old habits, like speeding, for one. My life has had many ups and downs, but within this last year, I have gone from not, I can't, almost rock bottom, I'd say, pretty low, and I've made my way back up, and then almost ruined it entirely because of my driving and because of my speed. And it sucks. It really does. But I am thankful that I have an amazing mother who is in the position and willing to help me out. And so this doesn't ruin my life, but it is a real big eye opener. Like, I don't know if I've ever said this online, but for anybody who knows me personally, I have said this time and time again, and I always push blame and say, "Oh, it's the court system's fault. It's the law enforcement's fault. They're just letting me get away with it. I'm just gonna keep doing it." And I put that energy out there until that energy came back and bit me in the ass. So now I'm looking at serious consequences, and I'm seriously looking at my actions, and I'm coming to the conclusion that I need to make some drastic changes, and I need to make them now. And although I may not be willing or wanting to make these changes, I need to. And it's a part of growing up that we need to make the hard choices in life. And I have come to know that for the past year now. Again, big update for those of you who don't know me. I have a partner. She is an amazing woman. It's my girlfriend. She does have a 2-year-old son, and I have grown so much because the both of them, and it is such a huge eye opener when I'm around them, and I'm so thankful to be in the position that I am and to have them in my life, because without them I don't know where I would be. Without her, I don't know where I would be. It is that time of the year. It's the holidays. I usually like making a lot of content around the holidays. I usually like making content throughout the year, but it's been it's been rough. I haven't really had the energy, the focus, the time. I haven't, and this is by no means an update video or anything. I do plan on making an actual update video and putting it out there, but this is just me talking out loud to whoever wants to hear it, and maybe for myself too, because it's not real until you say it. And that comes back to the whole putting the energy out there. I always try, like I say, to be the best version of myself, but we all have our mistakes. We all have our habits, and my habits are a lot worse than I would have ever told myself, that I would have ever let on, that I would have ever, been able to sit there and be like, wow, I am not the best version of myself. But thankfully, I have people in my life now that are willing to sit down and have those conversations with me and let me know where I'm straying from the path that I need to be on. And I'm very thankful for those people. Like my best friend Kelly, who we've stopped talking for a while, and we we went our separate ways for, I can't even remember how long, it was a few months. But those few months, I mean, I never once stopped, remembering her or thinking about her. And same with her, like we didn't end on the best of terms, we didn't end on the worst of terms, but we ended on terms, and we both, we're such good friends, and it sucks that we had to spend that time apart, but it also helped me realize, again, where I have been straying from my path that I need to be on. And it helped me realize, and it helped me see. I was able to take a step back and admit my wrongs. And moving forward, I'm able to take the steps necessary to be the person that I want to be. I'm sorry. I'm tearing up a little bit talking about all my feelings. I'm not used to talking about my feelings. I keep them in. Ugh. But I'm learning that it is not only okay to talk about your feelings, but you need to. You need to talk about it, and you need to let it be known, because it's not okay and it's not good for you to just sit there with your own thoughts, which is another one of the amazing phrases that my loving girlfriend has told me time and time again. It's not okay to sit with your own thoughts, and sometimes you just need to talk to somebody. Sometimes you just need to talk. Maybe not to somebody, just to yourself. Like me talking to this computer screen. I'm literally looking at my audio wave file right now, listening to some lo-fi beats, and it's helping. It's getting that feeling off my chest. I don't feel as heavy now that I'm able to say it out loud. Oh man. Everybody tells you to remember to breathe, but in the moment, that's the least of your worries, breathing. I'm always so worried about it, everything else, a lot more than I let on, and it's not even a lot more than I let on to everybody. It's a lot more than I let on to myself. I don't even allow myself the brain capacity to even think about the stuff that I'm stressing about. It's just on the back of my mind, and it's just always stressing. And it's not that I'm ever like actively thinking about it, but I'm always actively stressing about it, and it's not okay to just sit there in your stress, and it's not okay to just let things keep piling and piling up. Sometimes, I mean, not even sometimes, no, you need to go through and dig through that pile of stress, and you need to take action, because no action is the worst action. You can't just sit there and not do anything, which sadly I will admit is what I have been doing for the past few years of my life. For those of you who don't know, I had a job. I honestly, I time is so crazy. I can't even think about how long ago it was. It wasn't more than 2 years ago. I was working at a mechanic place with some of my friends at the time, and currently another one of my good friends that I'm grateful to have, Edwin. Although Edwin was the person behind the wheel who was driving the truck that I had fallen off the back of. Again, we all make horrible mistakes and poor judgment calls, and I, in no way, shape, or form, blame Edwin. It was a mistake, a lapse of judgment, and he did not mean to do what he did, but at the end of the day, I fell off the back of a truck and I ended up with 8 staples in the back of my head. And I had gotten the papers for workers' comp, and instead of being the adult that I needed to be and taking care of that and filing the paperwork, or even, being able to admit that I need help with that and I need help getting the stuff together to file that paperwork, I just put it on the back burner and I forgot about it. Well, I never really forgot about it because, again, it's always just on the back of my mind, but I just never thought about it again until I would receive the bills in the mail. And every time I would receive the bills in the mail, I would stress and stress. And just whenever I'm not even thinking about it, just whenever I'm going through my daily life, whether I know it or not, I'm stressing about it. I'm stressing about all the things that I try to forget and I shove so far down and suppress. It's just that it is suppressed, it's still there, and it's still eating away at me, and it sucks, but I need to dig through that pile. And it also sucks because the company that I was working for, the manager that I was under, he was in no means to even offer help. He didn't want to, he didn't care. The people there don't even know how the procedures work. It was just all around a horrible environment to be in as a young adult, and also as a young adult who is not who hasn't found their voice and who is scared to ask for help, because then you're just trying to figure it out on your own, and that's scary, and it's not okay to figure things out on your own. I mean, at a certain point you do need to figure things out on your own, but also that's why the companies have places and procedures, because this is all new to everybody and everybody needs help along the way. I still need to go through, and I actually have 2 workers' comp forms that I never filled out that I have gone to the hospital and I have bills for in my name that shouldn't even be in my name. Also, this all happened within the same year. I had hit my head on the shelf. I had gotten 2 staples in the back of my head at that same company. I had fallen off the back of the truck and probably got concussed. I never went to the doctor for any follow ups or concussion symptoms or any of that. Again, I just didn't even want to think about it. And then, shortly after I'd fallen off the back of the truck, I had an accident with alcohol. I didn't eat. I drank too much. I don't even remember playing video games with the person that I was playing with as long as I did. And apparently I had said goodnight to them, and in the midst of the 3 steps it takes for me to get to my bed, from my chair to my bed, I had fallen, collapsed. I don't know. I barely remember the night at all. The way that I have been told is my sister had came home hours later, like an hour or 2 later, and she was coming downstairs to get her kid from our brother, and that's when she had heard me flailing around on the ground, and that's when she had asked my brother, and my brother had said, yeah, I've just been in the floor kicking shit for the past hour. They had to climb through my window because I do sadly keep my door locked, and that's when they found me, what they describe it as, seizing on the floor. They had called the paramedics. Apparently, I was kicking and fighting the paramedics. Again, I have no recollection of this whatsoever. I had a whole MRI scan. I couldn't sit still for that. My mom had to talk me through. The only thing I remember, honestly, is waking up in the hospital with my grandmother, my mom, and my sister in the room, all freaking out. I like I said, I have hit a pretty low point, but I have also grown a lot since then, and I do attribute a lot of that to my partner. She has really been there for me She has been my rock. She's my joy. And although we do have our issues at the end of the day, I do know that I love her with my whole heart and that I can trust her. And her son is just like an absolute ball of sunshine, and he just brightens up my life so much. I have grown, and I'm so thankful that I am in the position that I am to have to be there for them and help them in the ways that they need me to be there for them. And that I'm so grateful that I'm able to take care of them just as much as they take care of me. Because again, I don't know where I would be without them. I really do love her son like he is my own child, and I love her with my whole heart. There is nothing I wouldn't do for them. And that's the thing about me. I love with my whole heart. There is no in, half out. I am either all in or I'm all out. And I'm all in with this woman. This is my partner. This is my. Hopefully, one day I can call her my wife. We have had so many issues, but we have been able to work through and work past every single one of them. And it's crazy to me how I have had a handful of partners within my life, and don't get me wrong, a lot of them, all of them have been, like high school relationships, but just all of my relationships, actually, just friendships, um, partnerships, nobody has ever treated me the way that this woman treats me. She treats me like I am my own person, and she doesn't baby me, she doesn't parent me, she doesn't put up with any of the bullshit. She gets down to the nitty-gritty and she tells me, and we talk. And I know a lot of the times I have a hard time talking, but I have also really, really tried within this past year to open up and to communicate, and that's where I am. That's how what brought me here. Trying to be more open, trying to communicate more about how I'm feeling, because as men and as young men, we're taught that that's not okay. At least I was taught that that wasn't okay. It's not okay to show emotions. Boys don't cry. Only babies and girls cry. That's what I was taught. And so that's why for the past 18 and some odd years of my life, I have suppressed my emotions, and don't I don't let things affect me the way that they actually do. And it's sad. It's sad that I don't allow myself to feel, but I am trying, and I'm working through it, and I think I am allowing myself to feel again, and I'm allowing myself to communicate, to you know not just sit and sulk in my own shit, because that's a fucking miserable life. Just sitting there and sulking about everything and not letting anybody in and not letting anybody know what's going on. Just to sit there and do it by yourself. It's not how life was intended to be lived. You're supposed to go through life with somebody, whether that's a partner, whether that's a friend. There are certain points in your life where you are or will be alone. You have to be alone. But I do feel like life is a partnership deal, because wherever I am lacking, my partner is able to pick up, and wherever they are lacking, I am able to pick up. And you're not always able to look at yourself in the mirror and tell yourself how it really is. But having, a partner or a friend or somebody that is, by your side 100%, and that they can look you in the face and tell you that you're fucking up, or that you're not being you, or that you're not acting the way that you need to act, and you can sit there and have an honest conversation with them and get to the bottom of what's going on, and not just blow it off and say that they're the problem, or try to explain yourself on why you're doing the things you're doing. The things you're doing are wrong if they're calling you out for doing them. There's no explanation that could justify that answer enough to be okay. It will never be okay. And that's another thing that I've come to realize. There's no explanation for my bad behaviors that will ever be okay enough to make it okay. At the end of the day, it's a bad behavior and it needs to stop. I still do like to communicate my reasons behind the way I do things, and my partner and we do like communicating the reasons why we do things the way that we do, and because we like to understand where the other person is coming from and understand what is really going on. And that's, I feel like, so helpful that we're able to have those conversations and we're able to talk to each other at a one-on-one basis. Like, look, this is what's going on. I don't like this, and although I haven't been the best at my open communication, I am working on it every day more and more, and I'm trying, because this woman and her son, they make me want to try. I feel like for the last few years of my life, I haven't really been trying. I've been living and I've been making it through, but I haven't been trying. I haven't been really putting my mind to it the way that I need to. And, it's crazy to say, like the past few months alone have really, really opened my eyes, and I've been able to grow so much within the past few months. Like, when I finally got a job again and I was able to have all those new faces, it was so scary being an antisocial person. Or, I mean, I thought I was antisocial, and I mean, I very well may be, but being around all those people, not persons, I'm sorry, around all those people for that amount of time while I'm at work, I don't know whether or not, like, I'm putting on, like, a fake face, or if I'm just putting on, like, a show, but being around all those people, and I get to open up, and I put on a mask, I would say, and be happy, but that is also another me, the me that I don't really get to see all that much. A happy, joking, loving guy. And that's who I really want to be. And it is who I am. It is. But a lot of the times I feel judged for the way that I am. I feel. So I don't allow myself to be myself. But it's crazy to have I've allowed myself to be myself, and I don't feel judged. I feel happy, I feel productive, and I feel like I want to keep trying. Oh, I want to keep trying. I want to keep going. I want to elevate myself. I want to elevate those around me. I want to make people happy. I want to brighten people's days. I want to be creative. I want to draw. Like, I've been doing these silly little doodles. I started doing these silly little doodles while I was at work. And I thoroughly enjoyed myself, and everybody around thoroughly enjoyed them too, which made me really happy. I'm sorry. It made me really happy, and it allowed me to continue doing that. I didn't feel judged. I was open and free to do what I wanted. And not only did they not judge me, they complimented me. They were nice. And with drawing and these doodles, I feel like I have once again opened up that creativity in my brain to start working and flowing once more. And it's crazy to say, but I feel like I have started to being able to imagine things clearly. um like before, I couldn't even imagine an apple and make it red. Like, you know that test where you have to imagine an apple on a plate and make it red? I couldn't. It there was no color. I couldn't really imagine like people's faces all that well. But then just after like a week of, just doodling whatever came to my mind, and just drawing whatever I wanted to, I feel like I am able to close my eyes and I can imagine things and I can see in color and I can dream, and I have opened up my brain once again to its creativity, and it feels so good. It feels really good. So I'm just been rambling, and I'm sorry that I started this whole podcast thing with one episode, got you guys hooked, and then I just disappeared off the face of the earth. And I hope that I don't do that again, but I'm I'm not one to make false promises. If I say something, I try to keep my word. So I'm not going to make any promises on that I might not just fall off the face of the earth, because who knows what these next few months might bring. But I do want to say that I do want to try again. I do want to start creating content. I do want to try to set aside some time every week to sit down and just talk about life and how I'm feeling and what's been going on. If not, like I said, if not for myself, for anybody who wants to listen, who may be going through something similar or feeling the same way, it's okay to talk about it. It's okay to talk about it to yourself. It's okay to put it out there to the world. It's okay to talk about it to your mom, to your siblings, to your partner, to your friends. It's okay to talk. It's not okay to sit there and sit with your own thoughts by yourself, because that's no place where anybody wants to be. It's not where anybody needs to be. We as humans were made to be around other people, and for these the upcoming months and these holidays, I hope you guys are all around people who make you feel the way that I have felt with my people. I wish you guys and your families, your friends, all the best. I hope that you have an amazing holiday, and I hope that you come back and listen to me once more, whether it be in a week, 2 weeks, 3 months. I don't know. Um, but like I said at the beginning, I just turned this on just so I could talk. I just had some free time before I went into work today, and I haven't been feeling the best over the past couple of days. But this has made me feel better, sitting here and talking about it. I do feel very light. I feel very, very at peace right now. I don't really have much else to say, so I will leave you with this. Like I said before, I do plan on making an actual update video for any of those who may be interested. It's gonna be on my YouTube channel. It's just ATOY, ATOY, ATOY. I hope you guys have a great holidays. As always, I will see you guys later. Peace.